After taking the summer off, Bleach is finally back to start its final bloody war. It's my review of Bleach, chapter 547. Damn, that felt like forever. It has been so long since we've finally gotten back to Bleach. And I'm glad too, because it looks like they are really starting to ramp up this week. What I loved most about this chapter is, since it was on break, we all sort of imagined it was going to open up with a big color panel, and it does. I love the immediate build up to it with Ichigo looking at his brand new swords, which look just completely awesome. And then you get this really big color spread where you get to see Ichigo standing in the middle amongst all of the different shinigami and Quincy. It's friggin' awesome. It really sets the tone for this arc. And even though it's been months since we've gotten back to Bleach, it does continue right from where it left off. We get to see that all of the Quincy are finally starting to invade Soul Society, and they explain how it's done in this week's chapter. And it's actually pretty interesting. Essentially, they've been hiding in the shadows this entire time. It's explained by a bunch of the different Quincy, in particular Juha Bach, that they were in the human world, and since they're Quincy, they're able to manipulate Reishi, and since Soul Society is pretty much all Reishi, they were able to hide and create this own like little secret pocket space for them to live in the shadows. So as creepy as it may seem, the entire time the Quincy have always been around in Soul Society. They've just always been invisible to our eye. Maybe I just find it unintentionally funny, but I just love that the research room is going completely batshit crazy, not really knowing what's going on here. What I love most about this scene is you get that one Quincy who comes in who looks a lot like Aizen, a much more effeminate version of Aizen, if that's even possible. Things get even creepier, though, when all of a sudden Mayuri Karatsuchi decides to enter the room, and he does so in a very similar way to the Quincy's. He actually opens up this weird door, and he explains that he's been trying to figure out how to stop these Quincy's and why they've been hiding in the shadows this whole time. And apparently he's been working in this weird pocket of space that has no shadows in it at all. Haschwalth has some balls, too, for walking right up to Shun Shui and getting ready to challenge him. And from the look of their conversation, it seems like they're going to immediately start fighting. The end of this week's chapter features that one Mohawk Quincy just sort of walking down, mowing down Shinigami left and right. That is until a giant wall of ice suddenly appears, saving all of them, and that could mean only one person, Hitsugaya and Rangiku. And they have a slight redesign here. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about their hippie clothes, but still, it doesn't bother me that much. If anything, it just gets me really excited to see what kind of new abilities they might actually have. Right out the bat, they are really getting ready to start this battling, and I honestly didn't expect it to happen so soon. Maybe it's not going to be continuous fighting from this point on, because I just always imagined there'd have to be a little bit more training, maybe a little bit more exposition, but seeing as how this is a manga series, they can always just sort of go back to events we technically never had a chance to see. And you know what? I'm an action junkie, so hey, bring it on. Especially when you're going to say it's going to be a big-ass bloody battle. I'm really excited. I can't wait to see what all of these Quincy are completely capable of. They all have a lot of really interesting designs and abilities. And a lot of the battles that were set up this week look like they are going to be intense as shit. Some show stealers this week. Obviously, Karatsuchi looks absolutely ridiculous in his weird flower costume. It's like he's in a third grade school play. The final bit at the end with Hitsugaya and Rangiku showing up is definitely really, really awesome. Hitsugaya has definitely been a fan favorite of the series, and he's one of my favorite characters. The Quincy themselves continue to show how resourceful and interesting they are. Like I said, the fact that they've been sort of technically hiding within Soul Society like the entire time, we just haven't been able to see them and everything, is a really, really great idea. And it'll really mess with you when you go back and you watch it, because it'll be like, hey, the Quincy are all over the place, but you just don't know it. What is good about this chapter is it did actually explain things pretty well with the giant city exploding out of the ground and everything. And what's also interesting is this is just a small amount of the Quincy. There's still so many more of them. So truly, these battles are going to be intense and on a massive scale. So I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. New abilities, new battle getting ready to start, and no more breaks. Bleach is back, baby. And this chapter for me wasn't perfect, but it was still a really fun read, and it got me pumped to read Bleach again. So I'm going to drop a 9 out of 10 on this bad boy, so make sure and check it out. So are you guys excited for the return of Bleach? Are you hoping to see some really interesting battles, or do you have any predictions? You can let me know with your comments below. And remember guys, before you leave, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. That and checking out some of the other ones we got up top. So I will see you next time, guys, for the next review of Bleach. Super Kami Guru 9000, out.